Okay, hello everyone. I was waiting for somebody to join this webinar. I think I will go to start, and maybe if somebody else is joining, hopefully can catch out. And also, I will be sharing the link with everybody so you can see the presentation. Today's topic will be layouts. I will be talking about what is a layout. However, I know you already know because it's part of your projects, and this will be mostly a summary of the information you already have been practicing. So I will start sharing a presentation, and then I will make a simple demo. You are welcome to call with me, or you can always try by yourself. And well, this is the first webinar. Let's get started. Okay, so I will share my screen. Okay. Excellent. Well, let's talk about layouts. As you saw in your first and second week of this nano degree, a layout defines the structure for a user interface in your app, such as an activity. So the view layouts are a type of view whose primary purpose is to organize and position other view controls like text views, bottoms, or nested views. You can also make a layout to contain another layout. That's very interesting. And these are the types of layouts. I'm sure you will be finding more types in the documentation. However, these are the three more popular. The linear layout, it arranges other views either horizontally in a single column or vertically in a single row. This is very useful. However, sometimes it is important to have a different kind of designs. So usually you can nest two or more linear layouts, or you can use the relative layout, where you can use the positions of the children, and they are described in relation to each other or to the parent. And there is a very interesting layout that I don't think it has been explained in detail in this nano degree, but it's very interesting. So when I was thinking about what to talk about with you in this webinar, I decided that it was interesting to see a little bit about constraint layout, because this view group allows you to position and size widget in a more flexible way. So some developers call the constraint layout like the layout that can help you to make an impossible view. It is very interesting. You can build a view that can be really complex using a constraint layout. So as you know, when you are using a linear layout, you need to define a tag which will be opening this component, and you can define different attributes, right? Like the orientation, the layout, width, the height, the left. You can also include any views, any children's inside your linear layout, and it will close with a dash linear layout. Okay, and you can group the components in vertical way or horizontal way in a single column or in a single row, as as we were saying before. Then we have the relative layout. And the relative layout is also very interesting because you can position the components in a different way. You can specify in what position will be a specific component in relation with the others, with the parents or with the relatives. So this is very interesting. And we have the constraint layout, and this is very different than the others. The constraint layout, well, it was introduced around 2016, and it has been becoming more and more popular little by little. However, lots of developers still prefer to use relative and layout because it's very simple to work with them. However, it's also very useful to use constraint layout to make more complex views. Okay, so before I start the demo, I would like to make some suggestions for you for your projects. When you make a project, please always follow these practices guidelines. There is a very interesting resource in material design, and it's highly recommended to always define dimensions in DP. All the text sizes must be in SP. And smaller components like icons or typography can be aligned in increments of 4 dps. Like, for example, if you have an icon that is 8 dps high, and you want to make it bigger, the next recommended size will be 12, and the next one 16, and the next one 20, and so on. So that is a good practice for you to keep in mind when you are using icons or typography. And when you are using a vertical alignment, it is also recommended to consider this kind of spacing method. And I am sharing with you the link so you can find more information about it. The status bar usually is using 24 dps, and the up bar will be always using 56. And the next elements you will be adding in your vertical view, it is recommended for them to have 88 dps. This is just a suggestion. Of course, you will be having different kind of materials, different kind of views, different kind of components, and this is just a recommendation when you are using vertical alignment. Okay, well, and also if you want to make a nice impact with your apps, always use nice images. That's very, very important. But about images, I recently shared with you all in the channel some links that I think can be helpful. I think that they can be helpful for you to search for images copyright-free. When you develop an app, even if it's in mobile or web, it is important to give credit to the author. So you need to use free images, yes, or own images, own resources. But if you are using somebody else's resources, even if it's copyright, it is great for you to give some credit. So I will share an example about it in the demo. Here are some really interesting icons links for the icons. Also, material design have icons. You will find all the standard icons that you usually see in different kind of applications. But if you are looking for something more like dynamic, you can use emoji one. You will find thousands of emoticons there. And also, I know this is something you will be studying in the next lessons. You will see something about design, but it is good to know if you haven't started your project. I recommend for you to take a look of these two links for material design, material colors. If you don't know the specific combination for each color, the first one will be really useful. And if you want to have a whole theme generated for your app, the second one is really interesting. You can just choose two colors, and as a result, you will have a theme that you can use in your style in your app. Okay, so that's something I wanted to share with you. I hope this can be helpful. Okay, and let's get started with the demo. For the demo, I will be developing this little app. The purpose is just share with you how to use the constraint layout. And as you see, it's just like a gallery of images about a jazz festival. This is the final result. Okay, so let's get this started. I will share now my Android Studio. I will start the app. I will make it from scratch. So if I make some mistakes, I apologize for that. Okay. And I will call it Jazz App. Remember that when you choose an app API level, you need to be sure that you have it installed, and also you need to consider what kind of devices will be supporting this app, or yeah, what kind of devices will be supporting this app. In my case, I chose as a screen sandwich. I want for my app to be compatible with 100% of devices. This is something you need to keep in mind when you are starting a new application. Okay. Okay. So it depends about your computer and the memory of your computer, how fast this will be. But apparently it's going there. Okay, great. Right. Okay. It's indexing. If you are just joining, we'll be having some questions and answers at the end. And also I will be sharing this video with everybody. So don't worry if you are trying to make this app with me and you miss something, you will be able to see it again, okay? Great. So I have my first project generated, and then I will go to text. I will do everything using code. As you see, when you start a new project, by default, you can see constraint layout, right? So usually, I think in nanodegree, there is a node where you can substitute this part for a linear layout or a relative layout. In this case, I will leave everything like this because we will be using a constraint layout. Okay. Okay, so I will need to use a text view, but it's always recommended to include an ID. This ID will help us to identify each component, and this is very important when you are working with constraint layouts because you will need to make reference to these elements and other parts of the view. So I will start this. I will specify an ID, and this will be the txt name. For me, in my personal style, I prefer to use txt to determine that I am talking about a text view, a text component. Okay, so here I will leave the with in hey grab parent. Although this could be a match. Excellent. And I will start by adding a margin. Layer margin, and it will be 80 pixels. Okay, the text will be Jazz Festival. Let's see, I am talking about this specific text view, Jazz Festival. Perfect. So I will add background. Okay, and this will be fine. I already have the number, but you can always use the tool that I was talking about before. I will specify the font family. Perfect. And I will need also a padding. ADPs. Excellent. So in the constraint layout, I will share the design here so you can see it. The constraint layout, automatically this element is here. You can move this element as you decide. And we will be using this text view as reference for the other elements. Okay, so the way it is located in the center is because we are using the layout constraints. And this is very important because we are talking about the bottom of the text view will be aligned with the bottom of the parent. Who is the parent? The parent is the constraint layout, this one. Okay, and then I am telling also that the left part of this element, this text view, will be aligned with the left of the parent, and the right with the right, and the top with the top. That's why it's located in the center. Now, if I want to add another element, let's see, that's where it's where everything is going to be really interesting. I will add another text view, and I would say that it's It will grab the content. If you see immediately is generating a conflict, and that is because we haven't added the constraints. So if you are working with a constraint layout, it is important for you to add layout constraints. If you don't include them, then you will be having this, this error, and the components will behave in a really weird way. So it's important. Okay, let's add an ID. And this will be txt date. Right. And we'll be adding the text. The text will be March 2018. Okay, the text size. Okay. I will be adding some stuff later. So here is the important thing. If you go to design right now, this text view is located at the top left. But we want for this text view to be located here, in this part. So here's how I will do it. It may be a layout constraint. And okay, maybe the bottom part of this text view will be aligned with the bottom part of the element that is named txt name. Okay, and then I want for this element, okay, it is there, but I want for this element to be located on the right of the parent. The right part of this component will be aligned, or will be aligned with the right of the parent. So you will see it like this. I will change the colors of the fonts so you can see the result. Because this color is not easy to appreciate. So the color will be FF, and it will be the same with the other. So in this, I will add a text size as well. 32 SP. Remember, SP for text. Okay, and here it is. You can see this area. This area already matches with the result we wanted, right? So the second text view is aligned to the right part of the text view is aligned with the right part of the parent, and the bottom is aligned with the bottom of the other text view. This one that is called txt name. So we are doing well. Now we need to include some images. And if you see in the design we have in mind, we need to include this part, which is like the background an image in the background, and we need another images around. So let's do that. Excellent. Let's start. Okay. First, I need to include my images in my project. To do that, I need to go to Res and draggable. All the images must be in draggable. So I need to open this in my Explorer, just right button, and then I will go to show in Explorer. Here it is. So inside this carpet, inside this folder, sorry, I already downloaded the pictures I need, and I will paste everything here. There you go. Now I need to include the image in this part. Should be an image view. Okay, this will be wrapping the content. Perfect. And then I will need to include the image I want, which will be trackable. And in this case is the one that is named is just promo. Perfect. But this image is in the back, but just in the back of these elements. So if you remember in the course, in one of the videos, they were showing the attribute scale type, which is amazing because it allows you to put the image as a background. There it is. Okay. And I will show you an interesting trick. You can also specify an alpha, and this attribute will allow you to add an interesting effect to your image. It will be a little more like it will have some transparency, some filter. So this is ideal for backgrounds that are very vibrant, and you need to make them a little more softer. So keep in mind that one if it's useful for you. So I think this is okay. But if you see there is an error here, and it's because we haven't added any light constraint. So in order to avoid an unexpected behavior with this element, we need to add these layouts. And you need to add at least 2 of them. For example, in this case, I will add the left. Left, it will be left, the left to the parent. And then the next one would be the top. Top to top, also to the parent. So you need to add at least 2 constraints. One that specifies top or bottom, and the other that specifies left or right. In this case, I am locating this element as a reference in the view, in the left top, aligned with the parent. Okay, but the attribute center crop make it look like a background. Perfect. So I need to add now the other images. And this will be similar. So to go a little more quick, I will copy this one. Okay, I will add the images here. And the next one will be regular image, will not be center crop. And in this case, this will be draggable, will be just club. Which will be this area, chess club. Excellent. So this will not have an alpha, and this is where everything starts to be interesting, because this one might be in the top of the view, right? So in this case, we will need for this, okay, to be aligned constraint. In this case, the bottom of this element will be aligned with the bottom of txt name. This can be a little confusing, and I will show you in a minute why we need to do this. Okay. Then I also will add a left. This will be align the left with the parent. Also the right with the parent, because I want for this element to be located in the center. Right, right of the parent. And the top will be also with the parent. Excellent. So let's see the result. And there it is. It's in this area. If you see in the design, this element is aligned with the bottom of this text view. Okay, you can also do this. You can say this element will be, the bottom of this element will be aligned with the top of txt name. That is also valid, right? It depends about how close do you want for this image to be in relation with the other. So it's like you are naming anchors. You are specifying how close will be an element to the other. Okay, so that depends about how do you want for your view to look. And let's add the other two. Come. Add the others. I don't want for these images to be so big, so I will specify it will be 200 dps. And it will be console one. Okay. Well, okay. I want to confuse you. Delete this part. Okay, something I missed in the last one. We will need to specify a name, right? Oh, we can. Let's see. This one. Um, okay. This could be IMG, IMG, console, 1. This could be 100, 100, and this will change. So I will need for this image to be in the top. The top of the TXT name, and then align to the left with the parent and to the bottom with the parent. Because I want for these elements to be at the very end. There you go. Let's see. There it is. Okay, and let's add the other that will be next to this last one. This will be for cancer 2. Cancer 2. Cancer 2. Okay. In this case, let's see. This one will be at the very end. So it will be in the right corner. That's why I will specify layout constraint. And will be aligned to the end of the parent. Will be aligned to the top of the TXT name, or the top of this element will be aligned with the top of the TXT name, which is the center, the text view that is in the center. And then the bottom of this element will be aligned with the bottom of the parent. So, okay, excellent. We see all of you here, right? So this can be a little bit confusing. I know, however, it's very useful when you start practicing and when you start making your constraints. You will see that it's very interesting and you can make very complex views in just a little time. So that's amazing. That's great. Now, for the last part, I will add the credits for the authors, right? This is important because as we are using pictures, even if are free copyright, it is a good practice to say thank you to the authors. So I will add just something here. Like in this case, text will be photos by Christian Chan on, and the site where I take these pictures. Usually when you download a picture or any kind of resource, the same website will tell you how you can make reference to the author. So that is a good practice. And let's add the constraints. Don't forget the constraints. Okay. We are going to add a layout constraint. Will be at the end of the parent and at the bottom of the parent. Okay. Bottom of the parent. Excellent. I think we have everything here. Yeah. Okay. This looks pretty much like the goal we had, right? There it is. So now it seems like everything is going well. However, if you see the design, I don't know if you if you have seen something like this, if you are curious, here are some warnings. These are not errors. Actually, your output will run very well, even if you don't attend to these warnings. However, it is interesting because they are talking about something have been hard-coded. And this is not mandatory, this is not required in your project. However, it will be important for you to learn that there are good practices to keep all the resources. And when I talk about resources, I'm talking about images, audios, or even text and even colors. All the resources must be very organized inside your project. So let's see how we can solve this. And again, you don't need to do this for this project, for this very first project, but it is recommended. And I need to say, maybe the reviewers will recommend you to do that, okay? So let's see. The reason of this error is that we are hard coding text. Hard coding is this. For example, I will add a content description to this image. And the content description attribute is just to make a little reference about your image. Sorry. Okay, so I hard coded the text because I am typing the text directly in this attribute where specifically I am describing something, or I am including some text in my text view, for example, here in Jazz Festival. Okay, so in order to solve this problem, I will select this string, and if you see at the left of this line, it will appear a little bump, and you can click on it, and you will see the first line says extract string resource. So let's see what happens here. Okay, this will show you this a similar window where you can specify the name for this resource, and you can put a value. So this resource automatically has a name, or Android Studio make this for us, but you are welcome to modify it. Okay, like for example, for me, I put DJ Cello. Okay, and I will click OK. So what happened here? In this moment, the reference is a little bit different. I see now they are making reference to some place name string, and they are specifying the attribute or the resource DG Cello. Okay, if I go to values in the project Explorer, I will see one file named strings XML. When I open this file, I will see these resources here, right? And I can see the text that contains that resource. Maybe in this moment you can think, okay, but that's too complicated for just, a couple of words. It probably is at the beginning, but what if you have the same text in different parts of your app? You can reuse it. You can just make reference to that whole resource. And in the future, you will not be typing again, or if change is necessary, you can just go to strings and change the text once instead of doing that more than once. And also, this is useful when you are talking about strings that can be translated into different languages. So if your app will support or will be translated into different I will do the same exactly. I will string the start the resource. I will leave this name. Okay, and the same for the March 2018. Perfect. Okay, and the image is here. So if I go to design, I will see less errors. Maybe here are missing other attributes, which are content description, right? And and the last resource is hard-coded. You see? Yep. Okay, so for the last errors I see here, I will need to include a content description in order to avoid this warning to appear. So I can just Android content description, and I can specify concert to the auditorium. I don't know, something here. Okay, and concert one opening. Perfect. And I think just one more. This one, Android content description. And I will type something. Also, the content description attribute can be useful for you to specify the credits for the authors. That's another part where you can include the credits. Photo by Christian, for example, right? So if you don't want for the credits to be visible in your app, okay, but you need to respect the authority. You can also add in content description, for example, the name of the author, and that's completely fine. That's valid. Okay, so that's all about the demo. I will go back for just a quick reminder about some errors. When you are starting with Android, sometimes you will have some common errors. From my experience, this was one of the most popular I had. The error class. Sometimes you will see this error. So what is error? Well, the error class is a class that is dynamically generated by Android Studio. And the purpose of this class is to identify all assets, which are Android widgets, outs, or any classes you have, any strings, any images. So, for example, if you are naming an image and that image doesn't exist in your project, there are chances that, first of all, you will see a big error. But even if you don't see the error, that is when you will see an error class error. Okay, and it's very, very annoying. Sometimes, even if you already put the image again in your or already put the image in your project, you will see that it's there, and sometimes you need to figure it out what is happening. Also, it can happen when you rename some of the classes, and for some reason, Android Studio is not identifying like quickly that change. So what do you need to do to solve this problem? First, make sure that all your resources exist. The images files are named correctly. Make sure that the name of your project is correct in your Java class. This is an example. For me, the package of my app, it's named Jazz App. So if I made a mistake and I didn't see that is named like Arts App, I will have a problem. So it's good to have like a big perspective of what is happening. So make sure that your resources exist and the name of your project is correct. Even if you don't see anything wrong, you can continue seeing this error. So in those cases, I will recommend first go to your menu, the menu wheel, and then clean the project. After that, go again to wheel and click in rebuild project. So that will allows your project to redefine and identify all the resources and the names again. And that's pretty much what will solve this problem. But if after that you are still seeing the problem, please let me know, and maybe I can help you to identify what is happening. Okay? So to complete this project, I suggest always making a draft, always making a draft. And then prepare resources like locate the images. If you are taking the pictures, go and take the pictures. Collect all the resources you want to include, text, review the grammar, for example. Prepare everything. Prepare even the colors you want to use. And then start coding and start making your views for this project. In the future, well, maybe you will include some logic. And as the instructions for the submissions of the projects say, clean all the temporary files. And then when you are done and you are really proud of what you have built, then you can submit your project, okay? If you want more information about constraint layouts or relatives, or how can you get some examples, here are some really valuable sources. I will share this presentation with you as well as the link for this webinar. And now, please let me know if you have any questions. Okay, let me see. Okay, I don't see anybody is connected. So yeah, if you have any, okay, I don't see any questions. Anybody is connected. If you have any questions, you can type in the chat. Okay, well, then I will stop the broadcast, and I will share with you the link, and please let me know if you have any questions. Happy first Spring Day, and see you soon.